A circle full of dogs. We put in the work. Oh, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs.
Boom. Yes. Another episode of Giants Rush. Thanks for hanging out with us, tuning in every Monday, 52 weeks of the year. We're here for you guys to talk Giants football. I see you guys are out there uploading, downloading, hanging out with us on Monday Live. Some of you folks are audio folks and you're downloading it. We do need a little bit of help. We need to make sure you tell all your folks. I have 10,000 of you crazy guys following us. I only got 1,300 on the YouTube side. If I can get some help, bang, need some help for you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That helps us pull in a couple extra bucks so we can do some things like Truth needs a new microphone, right? Or whatever. Or we need to get Lamaze classes for Alex in the family. We need a little support. If you guys could just hit the bang, the subscribe button, that would mean a lot to us. Again, thanks for tuning in. We're here every Monday, 8 o'clock, rain, shine, snow, tornado alley, depending where you live. Let's bring in the guys so we can talk about what? The Giants, of course, right? And by the way, super cool. 2 weeks out from the draft, tons of stuff to talk about, right? We're seeing a lot of Instagram stuff, a lot of Twitter stuff floating around there about players and what they're doing. So let's bring in Alex. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
Dude, you look nice and crystal clear right now.
Yeah, I just did the little quick reset before we started. I think we figured it out, hopefully.
Looks good, dude. Are you feeling like a little bit jazzed that like we're past the draft, or do you miss the drama?
I'm so happy that no disrespect to the people that cover the draft, but just I get so sick of it after a certain point where it's like talking about potential people you have. I love getting to be like, no, these are our guys now. Let's talk about the guys we do have. Not, well, maybe Malik Neighbors falls to us, but could it be Rome Odunze? I don't know, but are we going to go Joe? Like, I'm glad that conversation's not happening. And it's just Malik Neighbors. How's he going to plug into this offense? I like that part of it.
Great take. Because and then those couple days after, they could have had, you're like, it doesn't matter. Right. It just doesn't matter who they could have had.
Not who they had. They have somebody now, and this is who we're going with.
Yeah. And Alex, by the way, that's what makes me crazy about that. We're still talking. I'm going to bring Spartan in. He's in back here because we're still talking about Jones. And it's like Jones is on the roster. We cannot talk about what could have happened, should have happened, shouldn't have paid him. Oh, real easy in hindsight. Yeah, we should have paid Barkley. You guys are all nuts. But I love them all. But I just want to talk positive about where we're going. And let me bring in Spartan back here because he was actually at the draft, so we can kind of get some post analysis, right? So give me the post analysis, Mike. And by the way, tell everybody what you just said to me 2 minutes ago about the mayhem, the food, the drink, and how you have to bail at certain point because it's crazy.
Yeah, so listen, I will give credit to the city of Detroit. They did a great job, a fantastic job of hosting that draft.
Hold up, time out.
Yeah.
Bill is now my biggest fan. I love this guy. He comes with a $10 spot, Spartan, every week. We're funneling in. We are getting new equipment for Truth purely because Bill likes what we do. I gotta tell you, it's so cool because Truth's getting a new mic. He's gonna get earphones. He's gonna get everything.
But he's gonna have the triple TV setup so he can break down the football players and whatnot. No, Bill, we appreciate Giants fans. We appreciate you all. Bill, thank you.
100%. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Spartan, but when I see that, so I don't know if you guys realize on my side in the platform, it highlights Bill in gold, right? In this big bright yellow color.
No, we all see it. We all see it.
Okay, I didn't know if it showed the color.
You're not special. We all see it. No, I'm kidding.
Dang it. My mom told me I was special. All right,
you are, Craig. You are special.
So keep going. Draft day. You're there. Give us the whole thing.
No, and again, thank you, Bill. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. But Detroit did a great job. I mean, they accommodated 350,000 people. They put it in their downtown, which, by the way, I mean, if you've never been to Detroit before, you haven't been there in 15 years or more, that city has done wonders in the last 15 years of revitalization. I mean, it really is an incredible city when you go in there now. You get there. The Detroit, they didn't run out of beer. Beer was supplied. You can get beer very easily. No lines. People are standing there with coolers, big tubs of them.
Giving beers to little kids.
What's that?
They're handing out like pints to little kids.
Well, it's the Midwest. It's part of the culture.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
That's how they're raised.
Yeah, exactly. It's how you're raised. Don't disrespect. They had sodas there at these bars.
That's not disrespect, Spartan. That's highlighting what happens.
It was like for every line, like 10 lines of alcohol, there was like one line for food, though. They definitely were short of food.
Okay.
No, I mean, the setup there was great. And let me tell you, Giants fans, I mean, look, it's free to go to the draft. So if you ever get the chance to, I know some cities are harder than others. It's Green Bay next year. That's not easy to get to. But, if it's in Boston, go for it. It's a very fun day. Take your kids. You can have a really good time. Just be a little bit mindful, like, the standing room in the general area. It's tough to get up front. You got to be there for a while. If you use the bathroom, you lose your spot. Keep that in mind. It was still a good setup, though. You can still see everything.
Tell him what you told me.
Just for you to be able to interrupt Mike again. All right, Craig, go ahead. You got to cut me off.
Exactly. I got you. I got $2 now. Actually, that might just become the new standard, right? $2 to interrupt somebody. $10 for beers and equipment, and then if you want to complain about Jones, we should just have that as the benchmark. Because
$100 and Craig shaves his face.
Oh no!
Ooh, yeah.
No!
It's for the show, dude.
$1,000, I'll shave my head.
All right, look. This you couldn't give me enough to shave my head. It's not happening.
No, that is the Edward Scissorhands cut, and you are rocking it, brother.
Tell them though what you said after a point in time. You just had to get out. Like, tell them that.
Yeah, I mean, it was at a point. I actually didn't leave on time. I still left a little bit early before the draft ended. But I mean, it was the Uber, like the wait to get an Uber was so crazy. And I was only going 20 minutes outside of Detroit. I actually called the Uber guy who dropped me off. I was waiting at a gas station. It was like 12 o'clock at this point. I called the dude who dropped me off, and I'm like, listen, man, I'll give you I'll give you like $80 cash right now if you pick me up. This way you don't have to split with Uber. And then you and I just, good for you. But that's what the Ubers were costing anyway. So he actually came from his home and picked me up and dropped me back out in Royal Oak. So, listen, I mean, it's hectic. But again, I mean, it's totally worth it. I would do it again. I didn't go back the next day kind of because of it. It was too hectic. And Craig, I know you and I talked about it, but it was hectic the whole stretch.
You get to a point where you're just like, unless you've got interviews set up, or you're tag teaming with a couple people to get you into like some access or some tents or some parties. If you're just on the outside, you kind of just, again, it's pure mayhem. You never get a break from the mayhem. So you're just like, after a while, you're like, I'm tapping out.
Exactly. But again, guys, if it's near New York, I mean, of course, for 40 years, it was in New York, and it was always, in a theater, and it was never this experience. But then they leave New York, and it's like, oh, now it's fun. Now it's a fun event you can take your kids to. But yeah, good event all around, and exciting to see how many Giants fans turned out. I was very impressed by this. Craig, Alex, I did not realize how many Giants fans there are in Canada. I talked to a lot of these Canadian Giants fans. I'm like, what's the story here? Yeah, I talked to them. They're like, in Canada in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they only played 3 or 4 teams. It was Giants, Jets, Patriots, and then one other, and I'm drawing a blank, the Bills. And so you pick your favorite team. That's how it was all across the entire country. So lots of Giants Canadian fans. I loved it.
All right. Showstopper once again, because I'm learning this as we go. So the interrupt you fee is $2, which Bill has set the bar at. He came in heavy, Bill, as he has been, by the way, consistent for like the last 2 months, is the $10 beer fund. Well, Tuto, who's like, listen, look, you can say what you want about Tuto. He's like an OG. I got to tell you, he is like an OG because he's been on this podcast with us for like 2 years, right? At least since I had Spartan. Spartan's been with me the longest on Outside the Truth. And Tuto just came in, and I can't even figure out why it's 19.99. Like I'm fascinated by it.
I like, yeah, he left 1 cent off.
Yeah. But what I love about it is
You got to earn that one.
Half the stuff that he says is like conscious stream, and I'm trying to like pick up what he's putting down. What's more important is that he's got his own color. He's orange, right? That's like, I don't know what's happening right now. It's like we're off the rails, and I love it. Tuto, you are an OG, my friend. We are glad that you're part of the Rush family, without a doubt.
Mike, just wait till Craig figures out about OnlyFans and the donations you can get on that thing.
See,
Craig.
The difference is that
Dude, set.
Well, Alex, as an old guy, who do you think the audience for OnlyFans is?
I will see. These are the questions I don't know the answer to, but I'm sure there's a market.
That's true.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a market for everyone.
Exactly. They made OnlyFans for old dudes. All right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Let's talk current Giants. What's going on like right now, right? Because we kind of broke it down with Ryan Dunleavy. He was really cool, right? Like, I mean, he's really good to us. He was only going to stay a half hour, stayed an hour, right? We talked about
that. Not happen every time, Craig? I love it when we get told only a half hour from players or writers. I mean, every single time we go an hour,
Yeah, like we went, how long did we go with Bellinger? He's like, look, my dad's on the phone right now, and I don't know, Paul Schwartz or something like that. And he's like, so I got to jump in like a half hour. Or Blackburn was the same way. And like, they want to hang out. They hang out with us.
Yeah, Deal did the same thing. I mean, we went like an hour and 20 minutes that night.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this, right?
Yeah.
So we probably all have our draft favorites, what we like. We talked about last week, 1 or 2, maybe some head scratchers on what we wanted, right? But overall, seems like a very good draft grade. I text, email. My head is crazy.
Faxed.
Yeah, I'm just like, I tweeted out or I X'd out, according, right, Alex?
It's Twitter.
The question was, Dunleavy ended his appearance last week by saying, hey, you guys are big fans. You guys do a great show. I have to ask you, are you buying what Shane is putting down? My response was this, guys, and I'm going to hand it right to you. My response was, because I don't want another dopey GM or any knee-jerk reaction. You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing for the slow burn because it does feel a little like a slow burn, right? Because of the lack of splash, right? This draft, in my estimations, I thought was going to be a splash. I thought we were going to do something crazy, like, get Neighbors, trade back in for Penix, right? Or I thought they were going to do something just really splashy so Shane could like say, we're going for it.
Yeah.
So, but that didn't happen. And I still believe in what Shane is doing. It's a slower burn than I would like, but I still believe in what Shane's doing because the opposite is like going to find another guy that we're going to deem as the savior. And it's just like, we've got to be patient. I mean, I understand.
You get Zach Wilson all over again.
Yes. Right.
For the Jets do that every 4 years, every 2-3 years, the Jets are resetting that. And I don't want to be that.
No, I don't. I get why people are upset, right? They're like, today's NFL, the burn is 3 years. 3 years, you are a minimum, a consistent wild card, first round guy. We don't. What are you laughing at, Spartan? Something in there?
No, nothing. It was the private comment.
Oh gosh. Spartan, handing it to you. Are you buying what? Ouch. Are you buying? That totally sidetracked me. Are you buying what Shane is putting down, Spartan?
Yeah, I gave it my answer last week when we had Dunleavy on. And I had a beautiful rip monologue that was just so perfectly worded. And of course, those little nodes in my brain aren't active right now, so I'm probably going to be a little sloppier as I talk about this. I guess what I find just a little disappointing is that tone. When he was in the press conference, kind of saying, be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day and whatnot. And well, that's definitely true. I mean, you typically, within 3 years, you see the steady improvement. Now, of course, we started off this rebuild with a good year, right? So it does make the situation a little bit tricky. But, what I will say is this. There's things that I like that Shane's done. I think he's done better with the mid-round picks. I think he's done better at success rate overall at drafting. He's done a much better job. Our coaching is good. I think we have the best coach the Giants have had since Coughlin left. I really believe that. Like, I'm actually surprised even last year we got to 6 wins. There are things that I think need to be improved. Craig, you and I talk about it. We need that, like, the impact player, like that dude that could be Pro Bowl caliber, repeatedly, all pro level. Got to get one or two of those guys in the building. And then the quarterback, like, I agree with you. Like, you can't reach. So this year they didn't get a quarterback. If they didn't feel like it, that's fine. But they do have to figure it out at some point. And we are at year 3, and it's like you can't fire them just yet. What will look bad is if any of the 2 quarterbacks that he passed up on ball out, though. I will say that. Not Rattler if everybody's passing on dude, that I don't fault you for that. Like, you shouldn't get fired for not getting who's the dude with San Francisco right now? Purdy. Like, that's not that's not a miss. Yeah. But like the 2 guys behind us, if they ball out, I'm going to count that as a miss from Shane's standpoint. I'm not going to count this as a miss, but like, we know that he loved May, right? And by the way, guys, he acknowledges there's a quarterback problem. That's why I tried trading up for May. So it's not like he's inept. But I do want to see, like, if May kind of sucks, then it's like, ooh, I don't really know if I want this dude evaluating the quarterbacks beyond this point. But that's neither here nor there. And free agency is always an option for quarterbacks too. So we'll see what happens. Am I buying what Shane's selling? I still have faith in Shane, but I would never go to fans and say, like, Rome wasn't built in a day. I'd say we're going to do everything in our power to win, regardless of the circumstances, and make the team better and go from there. So I just would have worded things differently, but I'm still behind Shane.
Alex?
I'm 100% behind Shane. I feel like we said it a couple times on the draft show, but like, when you trade up and make moves in the draft, more times than not, it doesn't work out. And you lose picks, and then that can spiral into a bunch of bad things happening. And I get that Drake May was a discussion, but like, again, like Eli is really one of the few times that kind of worked out. And that was a post-draft, like that was after he was taken anyways. Like, that doesn't happen a ton. And I understand like the Penix argument. I understand a lot of that, but I just think that like reaching for a quarterback or just forcing a quarterback this year would have been a lot. I respect the move he did. He took Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors is going to be awesome with this team.
Yeah, they got a talented player regardless.
We got a really talented guy. Yeah. And we had so many holes to fill. Like, I saw so many people were mad. They're like, well, you didn't draft one offensive lineman or defensive lineman the whole draft. If we had drafted only offensive and defensive linemen, then it would have been we didn't get any skill positions. Like, it was a little hit or miss. And like, I felt like people were kind of just picking and choosing, trying to find things to gripe about. We had a lot of holes to fill. I thought we filled a bunch of those holes with this draft. And I think that everything Shane's done, I know that, like, yeah, you were saying that first year when we were good, we go to the playoffs and you just assume that it's going to just keep going. Last year sucked, but a lot of things went into last year not going great. And I think that, like, Shane knows what he's doing, and I really have all the faith in the world in him. Like, I was on board with Joe Judge for about like a month period during his tenure with the Giants, like when he was doing all the water hose, like, let's go get muddy, let's do that. And then I was like, you kind of quickly saw that was not going great. And I've been in with Dable and Shane ever since, like, kind of they came over to do this. And I don't know what, there's not been anything they've done that didn't work out so far. I feel like the Daniel Jones contract, you could argue the Saquon.
Yeah, that was the one I would bring up, but no, I mean, everything else. And
but really, like, their hand was forced with the Daniel Jones year. The hand was kind of like,
we don't know about that. I mean, Dunleavy doesn't buy that he was forced. I will say this, though, the O-line, I need the O-line to improve. Like, that is something that has to get addressed. I think they made moves this offseason. Everyone complained about the draft. Like, they did it with free agency, and I'd rather have vets' depth than fifth round 22-year-olds.
Right. That's what I didn't understand either. It's like, oh, so we're just expected to plug and play a fifth rounder like right away.
When does that ever work
get
for
somebody
us?
in free agency and then work this guy under him for a little bit. But I thought that everything we addressed in the draft was awesome. I've watched a ton of Tyrone Tracy footage lately just because we needed a running back. I'm really excited about this dude. I know that we get to see him working out in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
But I loved this draft class. And like, I've sold myself. I did the thing where you watch the highlight tape and you sell yourself on everybody. So like, yeah, I'm at an all-time high on Shane and Dable right now just because I've watched the highlights of these guys, which is easy.
It's funny because like I do like Dable, right? So I'm kind of in this weird spot. Buffalo's never won anything, and that bothers me, right? So you're saying like, let's be Buffalo system running this Buffalo. I'm like, wow,
Well, they left Buffalo. They left Buffalo. We don't know how good Buffalo could have been at this stage.
That's my point though. They left before they didn't do it before they left, right?
But so they got him good. They got him almost there.
Right. So
if we were where the Bills are every year, I'm fine with that. Honestly,
yeah, we wouldn't be complaining right now.
Exactly.
I would be so happy.
So I'm thinking, like, I keep saying to myself, we retread a lot of Buffalo guys. Buffalo didn't win anything. Maybe they'll win it here. I'm waiting for something to take off. We don't have a Josh Allen. Someone said to me today, Josh Allen's overrated, and I almost fell over saying, does anyone really understand how hard it is to find these cats? Right. Like, they're just like. That's why
if we had Josh Allen, I'd be thrilled. I wouldn't be looking at.
Of course you would. Of course you would. And guess what? He can lose every year in the NFC Championship game, and you would say it's not the QB. Like he does what he does.
And let's be real quick. The last 10 years, there's only been, I think, I'm trying to count how many quarterbacks have won the Super Bowl because Brady and Mahomes have 7 of them, right? So, yeah. I mean, that whole knock against a lot of the great ones of like he hasn't won anything yet. It's like, well, how can we really say that? Almost nobody's
really the AFC representatives have been like, it's that graphic they always would show where it was like Peyton, Brady, Roethlisberger, Flacco is the one weird year, and now Mahomes is kind of just broken.
Yeah, and Foles.
And Foles.
And Foles.
And Foles is NFC. But yeah, but if you look at the AFC, they've had like 7 quarterbacks represent them the last 20 years.
So like I just can't figure out why everybody goes that route. But I do, I'm in the camp. I do like Dable. And again, like I just think like with the Shane thing, even if he, again, he overpaid for Jones, but the option without him, like no one wants to live in the reality of, okay, let him walk. Who's the quarterback? Like, I mean, like
we're rolling with Tyrod last year. Like, how would we have
talked about our team? Tyrod got hurt. So you would have So
Tommy DeVito immediately, like we would have had that all year.
Yes.
What if he did steal our hearts?
Hate to say it, that's when we won most of our games, though. And I think that was kind of the benchmark for Jones of like, listen, if we're still rocking with Tyrod right now and DeVito, not great, but like, winning Monday Night Football with DeVito, it's like, it's about par with what Jones can do. I think that was the benchmark to being like, he's not the franchise, but I'm with you. It's not like he didn't come off a good year in 20.
And you know what, Spartan? Here's the thing. How much better are we going to do than Shane? He's young. He's smart. You know what I mean? He brought all this technology to the team. We were doing like chalkboard draft rooms, like he's upgraded the Giants. He
brought eraser boards to the Giants. John Mara watched him walk in with that. It's like, yo, what is this?
Yeah, he's like, that's a smart board. I've only heard about those.
Is this
right? So like, I'm just like, okay, you guys could hate on Shane if he goes. Then what? Who's the next guy? Who's the next magician we're going to bring in here? It's like, look, we got to stick with the plan. It sucks that the plan's taken a long time. And if we had drafted a QB, he wouldn't have started to week 10 anyway. You know what I mean? So Jones would still be playing, right? So we just had I'm with you guys. I want Jones gone, but he was never going to be gone whether you drafted a QB or not.
Right. So what if he balls out this year and then we still have Jones again? Like what if?
Man, listen, I know that's completely off.
Same thing the first year.
That's complete, and it's completely off topic. But the point you're making is if, right? What if, right? Because the point is the benchmark, Alex, is super high. The only way that cat stays is 30+ touchdowns, 5,000 yards,
and they got to win. Like I think they got to find wins to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, like
otherwise, like if they lose and then they bring him back and then they lose, I'm out on Shane. Like if that happens, that I'm not behind him.
Yeah. Like Jones, like no one thinks he like. My thing is someone was we again having these conversations about Jones. I don't even really want to talk about Jones, but now we always get sucked back into Jones, right? He's a very polarizing figure. But the thing about Jones is like we hate him for all the wrong reasons. We should be hating him because he's not reliable and he's injury prone. Because the small amount of time he's on the field, he makes so many mistakes. And you're like, whoa, he's never on the field. So like he's making mistakes with the small amount of time that he has, right? And in that time, he's getting crushed by the worst offensive line in football. That's not an excuse for him.
Evan Neal
right?
is just getting picked up like this and just thrown in.
Body slam. Yeah. Body slam. So, like, my whole thing with Jones is, how could you find a more unreliable guy on the planet? I know it's not his fault that he gets hurt, but it doesn't matter. Right? I mean, the guy's down 3 of 5 years. He's hurt.
Yeah.
We can't.
And sometimes, Craig, I get to a point where I feel like he's like purposely getting injured. Like, you have to give me next year now because I didn't have enough time to prove myself. I'm over the fact that the guy is not reliable. I don't care if it's his fault or not. You know what I mean? Like You're so far in, you're like, dude, can you just stay healthy? I don't care what happens, but maybe it's not his fault. It's the timing. It's the line. Doesn't even matter. It's crazy because you realize, quarterbacks get hurt, but doesn't this make you realize, like, how much we took Eli for granted?
Dude, nobody can ever put like a number on the value that Eli gave us for that. Just having the same dude rolling out for my whole childhood, like pretty much since I was like a little kid, just being like, I know number 10 starting. Like that's
right.
what it was.
Right. Literally, he went from 2004 to 2017 starting.
I don't want to talk about Jones, but they keep pulling me back in.
Oh, tell me that's not true. I wake up every day. I'm like, I'm not talking about Jones today. Then I see some Jones-related tweet thread with 45 comments. And I'm like, all right, that's it. Put on the bio hazmat suit, and I go right in there.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, let's talk about something cool, though. How about that? Let's change gears to something cool, because talking about Jones ain't cool.
Can I ask you one thing, Craig, that I didn't see on the docket tonight, and then I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think about Slayton?
Go for it. What's the question?
Like with his contract situation, like I know there's negotiations right now about him coming back or not, and I forget what the number is.
That's not a question. What is your question?
What do you want the Giants to do? Do you want him to sign him, or like what's the one price?
Yep, sign him. Yep, 100%. Not even I don't have to blink an eye.
Alex?
Yeah. No, same.
Doesn't
that was a nice discussion. Craig, I'll hand it back to you.
Okay, you wanted me to mix it up a bit. Look, Darius Slayton was a 5th-round pick out of Auburn. He was never supposed to be a 1. He was never supposed to be a 2. And the guy shows up every single week, and he has 700 to almost 800 yards. He does exactly. How about this? He's the only guy you can say that does exactly what he was supposed to do. I mean, honestly, think about it. And maybe McFadden, right? These late round draft picks, McFadden got drafted to tackle everything he can. He came in with 50 tackles, doubled it to 100. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He wasn't supposed to cover guys, right? What was Slayton supposed to do? Be a number 3, come in with 700 yards. He's literally done everything you've asked him to do. How do you not bring him back? There's nothing that he
deal, like a team friendly deal though. Like it's not. I'm not paying him.
I know.
Yeah,
he's
right.
The
Don't make him
best receiver,
wide receiver 3 in the league. Make him.
He's the 4th. He's the 4th best receiver on this team.
Right.
Best performance or just flat out talent? What are you saying?
Jaylen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Neighbors are all
more talented.
They got to all get more time than him this year. So you're going to pay him. How much are you going to pay him for being your 4th receiver?
The issue is remember, go to bed at night. Remember, and they drafted Neighbors with Hyatt on the team. Because again, I've said it. We've talked about it a million times. If Hyatt was a number 1, he would have got a ton more targets and he would have got a ton more reps. But whatever he's not doing in practice is not allowing him to do it. Right? It's just not. Like again, you drafted a guy who was supposed to go in the late 1st, early 2nd, drops to 3, and he's still struggling to get on the field. Whatever it is, I don't know. But I know for the fact the Giants want to win and they want to throw to a guy 8 times a game, they bring in Neighbors because they're going to throw to him 8 times a game. Whatever is happening in practice, they're not seeing it out of Hyatt. So Darius Slayton's still on the field. It's Hyatt's job to beat him out. If Hyatt can't beat out Slayton, Slayton should be on the field.
I agree. I think Hyatt beats him out though in camp. I think that it'll be noticeable. I think Hyatt's done a lot in the offseason to get better. And I think that Hyatt was a project last year. And I think he's going to take a huge step forward, especially having another guy like Neighbors across from him.
Yeah, let's not get confused. I'm not saying he's not working. And I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying the body of work, there's got to be a reason why they're not targeting him. They can't get what they want out of him, so Slayton got on the field. Yes, you bring back Slayton on a deal. He's been model citizens. I don't know. Spartan, yeah, I think you bring him back. And do you make him the highest fourth paid wide receiver? I don't even know if that's a thing. So, like,
just make him like the 5th highest paid wide receiver 4 in the league. You know?
Yeah. But yeah. So the answer is
this is where we can slot at, buddy.
Yeah. And
Listen,
Shorty,
guys, between the draft and the season, we have nothing to talk about. Bear with us, damn it.
Yeah. It's not about the snaps, Sean. He's in there playing decoy a lot, right? Burning off the top of the defense, trying to open it up. It's not about it's the how many targets is he getting, how many balls is he catching a game. So the snaps to me is like, hey, put the fast guy in there and have him take the top of the defense off, open it up for Wandale underneath. Doesn't mean that's not a complete game, right? That's just a guy that's fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're right. There was some of that, Bill, Hyatt being underthrown when you got, DeVito and Tyrod throwing to him. Those guys are rusty. They don't play all the time. All right. What?
Sick quarterback room.
I know. It's bad. All right.
I'm done laughing at myself, Craig. You go.
It's okay. It's all good. Well, you threw it back to me. You wanted me to stir it up. So
you're right. I completely cut you off in your own program. But actually, Craig, I'm going to be asking the questions. Back to you.
Thank you, sir. We're back in the studio. We're here live at Giants Rush here every Monday, 52 weeks of the year. Our on-field reporter, Spartan Mike, is now back in the studio, who's sent it back to me, and I'm sending it to you, Alex. Tell me, Alex, if you happen to catch 2 wide receivers, a rookie wide receiver and a very dominant veteran receiver working out together this week, any chance you came across that?
I did, and I was not.
What did you see? Are we talking about the same thing?
I saw that Malik Neighbors was fraternizing with the enemy, and I don't like that.
Okay, very good. Don't go any further. All right, hold it. Spartan Mike. I cryptically handed that to Alex. No names have been revealed yet. There's a rookie wide receiver working with a dominant veteran receiver today. Did you happen to see it?
Didn't hear about it until Alex mentioned it, but I know who it is.
Okay. What is your thought? Alex seems to be disappointed that that's happening. My man's plugging in stuff over there. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I completely understand why. Like that
water.
Oh, for sure. We gotta stay hydrated on here. I understand like that old school thought. I mean, Brady talked about it too. He gets tired of the people being all buddy in the NFL when it's like they're the competition. But you know what? I mean, I try to balance that with, I've known for the last 15 years that players, regardless of the team they're playing for, get together in Florida or something like that and have off-season workouts or off-season programs together. There's a lot of players down there. I don't know where they were, Alex, but it might just be one of those things where it is what it is. They're working out together. They're getting reps. Maybe they get one of the quarterbacks that's in the NFL and, they kind of go from there. Do I wish... it's like, you only hung out with Giants players, sure, but it just is what it is.
Oh, I'm absolutely being over the top about it. I know that, like, it's not realistic to, like, get mad about it, but it's like, just don't do it with Eagles or Cowboys players, and I can be fine with it.
Right. Pick the other 30.
Anybody else.
All right. I do have to ask this. Alex, did you watch the video?
I did not watch the video. I just saw everybody talking about it.
Spartan, you didn't see the video, right?
No.
All right, so Shawnee's out there. I'm going to ask him because I watched the video and I have a different take on it of what I saw. So, but I'm going to ask Sean if you saw the video of CeeDee Lamb from the Dallas Cowboys working out with Malik Neighbors, the new first-round draft pick from the New York Giants working out. Was wondering if you have any opinion, Sean, on what you saw. I actually thought it was a little odd. Right. It looked weird, like because he was like doing these over dramatic stick moves and like second and third moves. And they were like they were just overemphasized. Like you wouldn't waste all that body movement in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? When you have a DB on you, you're not doing these huge sweeping side to side steps. Like almost thought like, it didn't look polished to me. Like it looked like a college wide receiver. I was kind of wondering what you guys thought. Like, I know Neighbors is going to be a stud, but I think he's going to need to, some polish, right? Hyatt was doing. Yes, that's why I brought it up. Look, let me pop that up there. Hyatt was doing the same thing, and I was like, "What the blank?" When I saw both of them. All right, cool. I'm not alone. All right, excellent. That's the same thing. Hyatt was doing it last year, wasting a lot of momentum in a route, kind of shifting side to side, thinking that NFL DBs are going to fall for this over dramatic shiftiness, right? So I'm glad you said that, Sean, because that makes me feel like, okay, I'm not crazy. The other question I had for you two is, so, Neighbors is out there working. I did not see who was throwing the ball to him. I'm assuming it wasn't Dak. But someone's out there, throwing these guys the ball. Have either one of you seen any post-draft videos, marketing stuff from the guys that impressed you? Alex, anything that you've seen out there, you're like, I like this guy, or I like what he's about, or have you seen anything post-draft that resonated with you?
Like post-draft, does that count as I just watched a lot of YouTube highlights? Because I've done that.
I meant like these guys are pumping out social media, like stuff that they're doing. I was wondering if you came across anything where you were like, hey, I saw, Tracy do a video thing. Like sometimes they ask them, like, how we do speed round when we interview guys. Yeah. I've seen a lot of that. They're ripping us off doing speed round now. They totally stole that from us. So I was wondering if you happen to come across my head,
I do remember Theo Johnson just seeing him in a video, be like, he's really big.
Yeah,
like, give him the ball. Throw that guy the ball, please.
The dude is big. Spartan, how about you? Anything that where you were like, you know what, that guy impressed me? Anything you've seen?
No, running back, and then Andrew Phillips. I mean, I think just in general, right after they were getting drafted, like seeing the emotional state that they were in, love to see it. Love to see it. And don't get me wrong. I mean, if you keep composure like Neighbors does and whatnot, obviously still excited, but like when you see them just so excited to play for the Giants, man. I mean, it's really something special, So I love to see it. All right.
This is groundbreaking for me because I did not see this. Okay. So Bill, who's our new, I guess we're going to call him the treasurer. That's Bill's new nickname, the treasurer. Said that he saw Neighbors put out a tweet or some kind of IG post that says no yachts, which is the shot at Odell and Shepard, right? No ATVs, shot at XMC.
Time out. Was it Neighbors or was it the safety? I'm drawing a blank. Nubin.
Oh, wait. Oh, so it might have been Nubin. Someone looked that up. Nubin. So let's just say, even to the fact that it wasn't Neighbors. Like someone went out and said that. It's pretty ballsy, right? Yeah. Or is that just me?
No, I love that. It's like he's already in tune with the pain points, right? It's always like miscellaneous activities within the Giants will just get you in, get you out of the season pretty quickly. Whether you're holding, I mean, how much dynamite was in his hands when he did that? It sounds like something out of Looney Tunes for JPP.
Well, I'm looking here. Sean, Brad, a couple other guys.
No worries, Bill. My bad.
Yeah. You got it. Was new. It's all right, Bill. Hey, look. In general, that's an eye-opening. Whatever it was, a IG post. Whether
that was hilarious. No ATVs,
dude. I'm like, man, you got to have a set to say something like that.
Yeah. No, that was funny. Yeah, everybody for your social activity, do what Andrew Thomas does in his spare time, which is probably nothing but banging on the drums.
Why, is he a drummer?
Yeah, I thought he was a drummer. I might be wrong. He actually may have been a different band instrument in high school.
Oh, that's right. He was pretty musically inclined. I do kind of remember something about that.
Yeah. Like that's what Andrew Thomas does in his free time. So unless he trips over the drum set one day and like breaks his ankle, then until then, everybody do music.
I'm banging on the wood. Let's not have that happen. What's up, Milan? Good to see you. What's up, Mark? Good to see you guys. What's up, Cold? All right. So let's move on to, we got a little post-draft recap from Spartan, right? We talked a little bit about CeeDee Lamb and Neighbors working out together. We just which was cool because I didn't see the, the tweet or the IG post from Neighbors basically dropping like, hey, I'm here to work, right? I'm here to work. I'm not here for any outside noise, which is pretty cool. Let's talk about the UDFAs. Any of them at all? And again, there's a ton of them. Shane is just like literally like signing these guys, left and right. Any of the UDFAs at all, Spartan, register with you like, hey, I like this guy or this, because you and True through the draft show, any of these guys like jump out at you like, hey, that's a really good depth piece for the line, or anything jump out at you from the UDFAs?
I thought we got one guy from North Dakota State that I liked. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Jake Kubis, the offensive tackle.
Yeah. I always, I feel like this is a great time to go out there. I mean, people complain that we missed guys in the draft, and even though I don't care for young offensive line talent, I understand that it's nice to at least go out there and take a stab. I mean, there's some good guys that come out of there in the interior offensive line that are undrafted free agents, right? So he's one of them, but that's really about it. I mean, Truth is the one that you're going to want to ask because he knows all these guys, man. He knows them all. I haven't really seen much come out of our undrafted free agents really in a while, so I don't pay that much attention.
Trey Knox, half those guys don't make the team.
Right. Trey Knox is one, though, tight end. I mean, look, we're already 2 packed at tight end, but he's one of the guys that we actually went over. So to see him on the list of UDFAs was pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah. We're because
I'm sorry. He went to the Vikings. I'm drawing it. Wow, I am all over the place. Skip me and go to Alex. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
All right. So Spartan, I got to plug in. Let me plug in my machine here. Alex, how about you? Anything before I lose this sucker? I forgot my plug, so I better plug this in before we have no podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I had a couple guys. I saw this John Giles guy is a wide receiver. It's out of West Florida, and when I was trying to do a little bit of research on the UDFAs, they called him the Drake London of D2. And I know Drake London hasn't really turned into a ton yet in the NFL, but the potential for Drake London was cool. So like that seems good if he's just going to be a freebie guy we get right there. And then Casey Rogers, the D lineman out of Oregon, I was reading about him earlier today, and they said that's probably the best UDFA that has a chance to make the roster.
And the Giants have had some luck, right? You got Tibbs came out of Oregon, and
Oregon puts out some pretty good rushers, and so like just having a guy as a depth guy, I wouldn't hate that at all.
And don't forget they drafted Riley in the 6th round last year. Yeah, so it's cool that they're where the West Coast scout is finding these guys way up there in the north.
By the way, I just saw Chris Snee was hired by the Giants as a scout.
Yes, what? I got to give props. Let's talk about that for a second because that's a super interesting story.
It just came across my Twitter. That's why.
Brad popped this in. Got to give Brad a shout out to Brad because he actually. Where is it? Slayton. Brad was on this like 20 minutes ago. I'm trying to find his post. Well, here's the interesting thing, and I'm sure guys like Peace or Cold will remember this story. Snee's been asking to be a scout for a while. Like he's been trying to be part of the team. I don't want to mangle the story, but I know that like a couple times he's walked away with no gig. They couldn't put it together, right? So I'm
worked with the Jags last year.
Yeah. And like I remember reading a handful of times them saying like it's all he wants to do is work for the Giants, and the Giants just won't give him an opportunity. So I'm just curious if anybody had any insight or background on like why now? Because I know for a fact that he'd been trying to get into the scouting department. I mean, there was a couple of reports that he was like, look, I'll do it for a lot less money. I just want to get in and help this team grow, and they just weren't interested in bringing him back, which started this like sideline conversation of why the Giants don't hire their ex-players to work for the team. Like, why isn't Leonard Marshall helping out? Pass rusher. Where's, I know Justin Tuck's got a job, a finance job, but, I know Jesse Armstead is assistant to the GM, but there's a lot of guys that live in the area that they could use for, training camp or coaches. So I'm glad to see that Snee's, being rolled into the fold. Either Spartan, any thoughts on this? I'm looking for Brad's. He popped this in here before.
No, I got to be honest with you. Here's my thing, though. I get a little weary. Like I'm with you. Like get the Giants players involved, but if they get a position with the Giants, I mean, I'd say do one of the non-football operations ones. Otherwise, I feel
like Tyree and Charles Way.
Yeah, like do something like be the finance director, be the treasurer, be the marketing director or something like that. The reason being is because I would like as much as I love Snee to get involved. What if Snee's not that good at scouting?
What if we end up hating him? Yeah.
Right. And now it's an unfireable person. And I hate being in a situation like Iowa was the famous story with Iowa this past year. Their defense is always great. Their offense, though, is just inept. And it was the head coach's son who's the offensive coordinator. He did get fired finally, but I don't like, and that's one of the things with Mayer. He's got a lot of family in the organization. He's the owner. He has the right to. But, I get a little weary of it. I do. Because you're right. I don't want to hate the dude.
One of the best linemen the Giants have had, right? In decades. Like, it can't hurt. It can't, when you have the 32nd ranked offensive line, Spartan, it can't get any worse.
If he worked for the Ravens for 5 years, I'd be ready to roll. I'd be like, no, he's been trained.
Just bringing all of your guys that used to be your guys in like roles later on can be a slippery slope then. Because then it'll just be like, just let's bring Hostetler in. Let's see what Hostetler can do. He can work with the QBs. And you're like, well, okay, why? And then that's half the people you're employing, and you're like, what if this doesn't work out? We're just going to hate our entire history at this point.
Right. I mean, think about it. Gettleman was that. I'm going way too far into it. I hope he balls out. That's the bottom line. Like, be good at your job.
He will. That's all we got to worry about.
You're right. I'm being too negative.
Yeah, because guess what?
Around this
let's talk about this. How about him and Priscillo just literally rock it, and the Giants all of a sudden have the 15th most, the ranked offensive line, and you're like, yeah, that's that Snee Priscillo combination. Yeah. Like, who knows, dude? Like, let's forget about. You know what? Here's what we've become. We've become the what if or the when it doesn't work. Let's like flip it over and be like, dude, who would know how to be a great lineman? That's closer to the Giants than Snee. It's got to be better than Bobby Johnson.
You know what the problem is? Like 95% of the times when Giants fans over the last decade, like, what if this doesn't work? Are completely right. It usually doesn't work. So that's the only reason why. Like, if we had been consistently winning, I probably wouldn't care if Snee got a job with the Giants. But bottom line is, you're right. Like, I hope he balls out. Good for him for getting that role in the first place.
Yeah, something like Cold was saying. Not every great player makes a great coach, right? Like sometimes, like you see in baseball, like the backup catcher becomes like a great coach, right? Because he's always been a coach on the field. Doesn't mean that he was a great baseball player. He just knew the nuts and bolts, right?
Or like Patrick Ewing with Georgetown.
Doug Peterson.
Yep. Not a great QB, pretty good coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what happens? Like I said, like some of these guys,
Kevin O'Connell, Minnesota was a backup too, right?
Yep. Bill's talking about Davis Webb. That everyone's been talking about Davis Webb as the guy just knows football, and he's gonna be a good QB coach someday. And he's gotten a gig out there in Denver, and it's you got to take a chance on somebody. Why not somebody that maybe is more closer to the game than not?
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm totally with you. Like get the former players involved one way or another. I'd be a little bit more comfortable. He was with Boston College for a year, and this as an analyst. So
yeah,
he's got some experience.
All right, let's talk about myth. I'm going to ask a question. You just tell me if it's a myth or not, because the Twitter should be renamed M for myth, because everything they talk about is like just this crazy stories about dragons and ghosts. Like everything is like
what side of Twitter? What side of Twitter are you following? What are you following when we're not talking Giants? Ghosts.
Dude, I'm talking about like people just like they making things up, like ghosts and dragons. Like it's just like the stuff that you see, you're like, what are you talking about? Like this, like I said, like this week alone, I saw Eli's. Oh, this is it. The 2011 roster was garbage. And I'm like, so if it's if you have a
Yeah.
you have a team
Let's talk about that because that was under my tweet because I really want to talk to you about that. Yeah.
So here's the thing. Like again, I don't know if it's a generation thing. I don't know what it is, but I mean, like, I just want it to stop, right? Like, you're 9-7, okay? Alex, what's the one? What can on a new football season starts? You wind up 9-7. What could have gone wrong? Very simple question. To get you to 9-7, what possibly could help you lose 7 games?
A bad offensive line.
Okay, what else?
Not stopping people defensively.
What else?
Not being good enough to win 10.
Not scoring more points than the other team seven times
7 out of
that
6.
year.
Yeah, like it could be right? How about
That'll
injuries?
do it.
Injuries too. Also that. I mean,
saying,
there's a whole list.
That's what I'm saying. Like the 9-7 Giants in 2011 win a Super Bowl, and all I hear is it wasn't a good roster. Well, it was good.
Right, by the way, so Alex, here's my tweet. I tweeted out that everyone's always like, how did the 2011 Giants win a Super Bowl at 9 wins? I said the real question is, how did that team only win 9 games? Because first of all, whoever said that they didn't have talent, that's wrong. They actually had tons of talent. They had tons of talent on the team. The fact that they didn't pull together and win all those games is a little bit odd. If you just look at the base of the roster, the offense was killing it. Okay, the O-line was shoddy. You didn't notice that much back then compared to now, though. What I actually always allude to is this. I didn't think the Giants had very good coordinators. I know that's a hot take. I don't think
Gilbride still
very good. Fuel was better than Sheridan. Sheridan was the worst defensive coordinator of all time.
Yeah, that was over his head.
Better. I never thought Gilbride was really that good.
Gilbride was so up or down. It was such year to year. It was good offense and bad offense and good.
Yeah,
trick plays was my favorite part though. The draw plays, and then you knew you were gonna get one flea flicker from him a year, one time a year, and it would almost always work. And it was the coolest play of the year every time.
Right. But I hate to say it, I actually thought McAdoo was a better offensive coordinator because Eli actually had 2 very good seasons under him before he became the head coach. I know that's a hot take, but we were actually looking at
a good coordinator.
Having talent. He was good.
I agree, and I think that was kind of they were forced into the head coaching thing in that situation because McAdoo did a bunch of stuff where it was just like weird, where people didn't plan for it, and then he runs some weird pattern, and you're like, "What the hell is this?" So it's like he'd stack linemen, and make people have to like have new looks that they weren't prepped for. And I think that threw a lot his way. And then I think maybe when he had to focus his duties on other stuff, he wasn't able to focus so much on the offense. And then I think his offense just kind of got figured out.
Right.
Too.
The bottom line is this: the Giants were so like. Here's the difference: we had the 9-win team in 2022, the 9-win team in 2011. On the best day, that 2011 team could literally beat every other team in the NFL that year, and really they
beat the Patriots that year. They beat the Patriots, who they also beat the Super Bowl in the regular season. They beat
the 49ers, right? But I don't think the 2022 Giants could have beaten any team in the league that year. They could beat the Vikings on their best day. I don't think they could have played the 49ers or the Eagles. That was the difference. That was the difference I was saying, you know?
And Milan, the team that you're talking about, we're talking about the 2011 team. The Giants almost beat one of the best regular season games I've ever seen. The game you're referring to, Milan, is the 2017.
Yes.
Right? That last game
was the best Giants loss of all time in terms of you watch the game, you're still proud of your team at the end of it.
Yes, 100%. But the 2007 team had
Alex, it took you a minute to think about that. You're like that.
Well, because that Vikings lost last year. That Vikings lost last year just or 2 years ago because of recency bias when we missed on the field goal, or they won on the field goal, and then we beat them like 2 weeks later. That was satisfying as hell.
That's fair.
Yeah, loss sucked at the time. That loss sucked at the time. The Patriots lost. It's like, who cares? We played good. You're right. That's the best Giants loss.
And I just saw like the 2011 team. If you're it's like reality. Like we don't live in an alternate world. You won the Super Bowl. So you were beating the other best teams in the other division and in your own division. You were good enough to beat other teams that were considered the best of their division.
Yeah.
Right.
The 2011 49ers was one of the best football teams I've ever seen play. That team was nuts that year with that defense. I don't know how the Giants took care of business.
They murdered Eli Manning. Eli Manning, like the easiest answer to like how did the 9-7 like Eli Manning whipped his dick out when it came to postseason and just was like, I'm just gonna be Eli Manning. And
right now that I've spent
MVP thing.
Well, he killed it that whole year, Eli. He did.
Yep.
At the end of the playoffs, he was just playoff Eli again, where it was like Eli's either
Right.
an immediate out or he's going to win it all. And he went,
Right.
all right, fuck it. Let's go.
I
Let's run
just,
it back.
I just get, it gets so old. Like you're like, not every team. How do people not realize that not every player on the team is a Pro Bowl player or a Hall of Fame player? Like,
But see, that's the thing. That team actually had a lot of those guys,
No,
right?
it did.
They
It
just
did.
still lost 7 games somehow.
It did. And well, I'll tell you what's really odd, Spartan. If you look at guys like Chris Snee and you look at guys like Justin Tuck, they were good the year before or the year after. That 2011 year, a lot of guys were banged up. They were injured, playing injured. Because if you look at Snee, Snee makes the Pro Bowl in 2012. He has his best year. 2 years later, 3 years later, whatever, he retires. Justin Tuck had 10 sacks the year before. Like it was one of those years where guys were just banged up. But regardless of them being banged up, the role players like Jake Ballard steps up and makes great plays, right?
Yeah, and that's what we've been missing for a while. That was the story of the 2017 too, right? All those guys, it's like, oh, who the hell is Kevin Boss?
Yeah.
He's got to replace Shotgun.
Yeah.
Man.
So I just get tired of it. And it was a great tweet from you. I just get tired of like it wasn't that good of a roster. No, the roster was great. It just
was great.
They had a lot of injuries and it
Yeah.
took them a while to get the continuity to get going. And they won the freaking Super Bowl. Why are you complaining?
And they beat all those great teams by the playoffs. So that was the proof. It's like clearly they could have won more games throughout this year had they,
Yes.
had they probably. I mean, there were some weird losses that year too. Like
They lost to Washington, I think, week
Yeah,
2
yeah, the
or
1
3
year
of that,
Washington
and that was
won
a
it.
stupid one. That was a really dumb loss. And then I remember that was like my senior year in college, and that was I got to talk shit to all the Cowboys fans on the way out. So like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember
Just,
that.
just
Every
for
game
what it
very
is, everyone out there should just tell everyone that wants to complain all the time about the great players we had, or that roster wasn't good, or he wasn't that good. Shut up. I'm just like, I'm so tired of hearing the guy. Look, they have hardware, right? They have hardware. They were that year, they were the best. Nobody could beat them. That's it, right? I mean, how do you argue against not being that good? Yes. Guess what happens? 9-7. Your defense starts off slow. You get injuries, right? Maybe you have to tweak the offensive game plan. Whatever it is, they won the Super Bowl. Shut the heck up. All right. Myth. Guys, a lot of myths out there. Told you. Dragons and ghosts. It's one over Spartan's head. All right. Eli Manning. Excuse me. Look, see, you got me talking about Eli.
Talking about our king.
Alex, Daniel Jones. Is it a myth that Daniel Jones will not throw more than 17 touchdowns?
Dude, I'm buying in on Danny. I know that Spartan Mike wants to be the hater. I feel like everybody's hating on him on this podcast. I'm all in on Danny. Danny's throwing 30 touchdowns this year, dude. We're fixing that offense. We're fixing the offense. Saquon's gone. We're not a running team. We're going Danny Jones. If he's healthy, he's throwing 30 tutties. He's throwing 30 tutties, and then you guys play this clip back. And if
all right,
not,
and for the record, everybody knows I didn't ask Alex to commit how many. He did that
30.
all on his own. He did that all on his own.
Fixing the offense, boys.
All right, that was only a myth question, right? And he said, no, that is a myth. Jones will throw more than 17 touchdowns. And then he went and doubled down and went 30. All right. Spartan Mike, is this a myth?
If there was an over-under by Vegas of how many passing touchdowns Daniel Jones would throw this year, and they put the line at 17.5, like you're saying, I would bet the under.
Hater.
Total hater on that one.
Hater. Such
on passing, on the ground. If they include the running, then I'm betting the over.
The question is, Spartan, is it a myth that Daniel Jones will throw 17 or less touchdowns?
No, it's not a myth then.
No, it's not a myth.
Yeah.
All right. Spartan, myth. Our new running back from the Texans, Singletary, will rush for over 1,000 yards because for some reason, everyone thinks that Barkley was some kind of bum. And this guy, and anyone in the NFL can rush for 1,000 yards. Is it a myth that Singletary will rush for 1,000 yards?
Myth.
All right. So Singletary, myth. Alex?
Absolute myth. Yeah. This is going to be an RBC. He's not going to get enough carries to have 1,000 yards unless he's breaking 80-yard runs every carry. which would be sick. I would love that.
Watch him just get 21 touchdowns this year, and like he was just
Okay.
back in Houston.
They just had no idea what they were doing, and really Saquon was holding us back. And that would be. I would love
right.
that.
Turns
I
out
would
like
love that.
Saquon was never actually good.
Yeah, damn that Barkley. Damn that
Saquon it was the thighs. We just got lost in his thighs all those years.
And forgot
The Singletary that was going to save us.
The guy is 70.
The worst thing ever was trying to watch Daniel Jones and Saquon connect on a screenplay. I mean, that was just they were both terrible at it.
And meanwhile, the guy was 75 yards away from being the third all-time rusher in Giants history. But oh no, he sucks. Right? Yeah, I don't know. All right, myth, Alex, that the Giants' offensive line will be ranked between 18 and 22.
No, we're going to be better than that. It is so it is. We're going to be better. We're fixing it. We're fixing the whole thing, guys.
So it's a myth.
Myth. So it is a myth. Yeah, they will be ranked better than that.
Spartan,
at least
what do you got?
17th.
I actually think right around there sounds about fair. And by the way, if we can get this offensive line to 18, I won't complain. I don't care at that point. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
I mean, I would love that because last year was 30. I mean, 32. Craig, that may
get out of the 30s. That's a progress.
Yeah, Craig, that may have been the worst this century.
32.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers on it, but I think 32 is one of the lowest numbers you can get.
I think the Texans 2002 was a little bit worse, but like other than that, they win gold.
Yeah.
So you know what's so funny when I found out that like I don't know like when the season ended they were ranked 32. I kept saying to myself, at least they weren't ranked 33. I'm like,
no, they should have. They should have put a 32 like a just a cheeseburger emoji, and then 33 the Giants after like a giant gap like this.
Just like, dude, you suck so bad we can't even
get last.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, nothing would have been better than Evan Neal getting thrown at Daniel Jones. If like he may have been making it worse.
Yeah,
he may have been shortening the time that it takes a defensive player to get to the quarterback.
Spartan, this was also one today that seemed like a myth, but who knows? A lot of conversation today around Neighbors, and then some people just jumped on the bandwagon about same position, same school. So is it a myth that Neighbors will match Odell's numbers from his rookie year?
Oh, I mean, odds are he's probably not going to match Odell's numbers from his rookie year, but I mean, he could definitely have a year in which he balls out and earns respect right away.
So it's a myth. He will not
I'm
match.
I'm going to say it's a myth. I'm going to say so because that was a really special year.
Alex,
I want to say myth with Mike, but Odell missed like 6 games his rookie year. Neighbors isn't going to miss any games.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Neighbors isn't going to miss any games, so Neighbors is going to be better because he's going to ball out rookie of the year. So yeah, say he's going to be better than Odell. Just to be.
So you're saying it's a myth?
It's no, it's not a myth.
It's a myth. Plural myth. Plural is myth.
Yeah, it is not. What is wrong with you?
Myth.
Sorry, man. I was educated in Pennsylvania.
Confirmed myth.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, where are you getting this from? Spartan's making words up and stuff.
Yeah, Odell missed 4 games, Milan says. Still,
he moves.
Malik playing 17.
He moves.
All right. Next one up. Alex, starting with you. Is it a myth that Kayvon Thibodeau will have 13 plus sacks?
Not a myth. He's going to do it, dude. We're balling out. I'm just going to be very positive about everything today.
Spartan, myth. 13 plus sacks. Keep in mind, he's got Burns now.
No, he's got the all-pro send down. It doesn't matter. Burns is going to take up the attention, and then Thibs is going to just rip it off, man. I expect him to ball out this year and earn some respect.
So you're saying it is not a myth.
Not a myth.
All right. Last one would be Spartan. Is it a myth that Banks will either A, make the Pro Bowl, or B, have 6 interceptions? Either or.
I mean, 6 doesn't sound like that insane of a number. So I'm going to say definitely not a myth on that one. But You know what? If he makes the Pro Bowl this year, he had a good year last year. I don't know why people complain about him. He had a good year, and he's going to have
Because
an even better
people
year.
like to complain.
People like, yeah, I
He
don't
had
know.
some
if that was
rookie
all-
stretches. He had some rookie stretches, but that's what a rookie cornerback thrown into that role is going to do, though.
That's better than most rookie cornerbacks.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was like. Did they just
Oh, was it
expect him to
bad? Like, I don't remember there
Revis
was
when
maybe
he
a
walked
few
in
plays
there?
where he got a ball taken over, but I don't like it. I mean, that was about as many as other corners, even the best ones.
I
so-
absolutely loved his play. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
Didn't-
no, I thought he had a great. Actually, I'm gonna not even say good.
Seattle
like,
and
his goal
Dallas
line
kind
great.
of cooked him. Those games I remember off the top of my head, and then there were a
Dallas
couple
did?
of times. Yeah, but I mean Dallas just kind of messed us up every game.
Right, but he wasn't consistently getting rocked like Neil does, right? Like Neil.
No,
is
nothing like
must-worthy.
that.
Yeah, no, I'm
And
gonna
he
say
showed a
I'm
lot
gonna
of-
say thanks,
a lot of
thanks to the
positives.
Pro Bowl this
So are
year.
you going myth or no myth?
I'm
Six
gonna
is a
say
lot
no.
of
No. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm bad. No, you go.
I'm going to say no myth, but I will say this. My one concern is that we've changed the defensive coordinator, and he's a little bit more aggressive on the rush attack and a little bit more soft on the pass. I'm a little bit worried because I actually trusted that under Wink's system, Banks, like the defensive backs, were a little bit better enabled to be the best versions of themselves. I am a little worried about the Titans' defense.
Okay, so you're
That's
saying
the only thing that might hold
you're
it back,
saying
but otherwise,
it's
I
a
expect
myth
to make
that he
it.
makes the Pro Bowl, but it's not a myth that he has
Neither a
six
myth.
picks.
I'm actually saying neither a myth.
Okay, no myth. Go ahead, Alex. Myth, Pro Bowl, myth, 6 picks.
I think 6 picks might be a myth. I think the Pro Bowl is definitely not a myth because just given everybody that backs out of the Pro Bowl now, like he could be a 6th alternate and still get to go to the Pro Bowl this year.
Damn, that was really good analysis right there because that is 1,000% accurate.
Because just go look at like the last 3 years quarterbacks. Like Mac Jones was a Pro Bowl quarterback 2 years ago,
Gardner Minshew.
right? I mean, just like the lot of
Evan
guys
Ingram.
like I've already been. I don't want to go. I'm good.
All right, last one for the myths. Alex, myth, Evan Neal starts the entire year, barring injury, right? But if he's healthy, Evan Neal starts 17 games for the Giants and holds down the position. Myth, non-myth.
Everything my body says that it is a myth, but I'm just going to be optimistic and say it is not a myth. He's going to get figured out. Offensive line is going to fix all the problems. We're going to have a 17th or better ranked offensive line, and he's going to be that right tackle we thought he would be.
Spartan.
Say it one more time.
Will Evan Neal win the job and start, if he's healthy, win the job and start 17 games, hold the job down? He not
position?
losing the job.
At what position?
Right tackle. The position he was hired to play, drafted to play.
No, he's gonna come in. He's gonna get moved to guard, and Illuminer's gonna play right tackle.
Wow. Major take, hot take right there.
Hot.
Damn. I'm like, hot take.
Yeah, it's a fajita that just came out of the oven, and it's freaking
Yeah.
flaming.
I need like one of those sounds that go, that does like the sizzling. Yeah, exactly. Cold says he's not buying that.
We don't know what Cold's responding to because they're a little bit behind here.
Wait, what's Cold behind on?
We don't know. Cold, what are you not buying? What are you not purchasing?
Cold is not buying the Neal thing of him playing guard is what I took it as. So he's typing away. All right. So those are your myths, basically, that they kick Neal inside. See, I know
we're not that
I
behind.
know Cold so well. I know what Cold is thinking before he even types it. We're on the same page.
You know what he's thinking before he thinks it.
Exactly. And by the way, it's scary in there. All right. Cold's got some crazy thoughts running around in there. All right. I'll open up to you two for the last we're a little like 9 minutes over. So if we're 9 minutes over, we might as well go to 10 minutes, right? Alex, anything that you've heard, anything that you've seen, anything that you think that needs a shout out or something you really liked, anything in Giant Land that we're not covering that should be brought to the fans' attention?
I liked Eli's tweet today.
Loved it. Hilarious. That roast last night. Lots of Lots of Giants commentary.
Let me tell you, I was in Connecticut today for a meeting, 8 a.m. meeting. I had to go to Connecticut yesterday and sleep over for it. The meeting was with 12 board members, and they could not stop talking about the Brady roast.
Yeah, baby.
Because they said that for the first time, it crossed every boundary there was possible. Like, they left nothing unturned and nothing untouched. There was nothing sacred. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It will open your eyes that Tom Brady could do anything he wants. What's up, Paul? Thanks for jumping in.
That's it. Only thing from my end is the draft or the schedule's released on Thursday. So
schedule's coming out.
Craig, you're going to meet me in Pittsburgh?
I am not.
We're going to play the Cowboys the first game.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I get so sick of that. Like, just give us Tennessee again.
Give me anything.
Yeah, like we played Carolina one time, and I remember like that was a super fun year. I think it might have been 2011. We opened. It was
cool. No, it was random. That was opening. That was 2010 opening day at MetLife.
Okay.
All right. So this is the wrapper up. Ready, guys? We are now ready. Lock in. Buckle up. We are now billionaires. Okay. This is how we're going to end the show because I tweeted this out and it got like 10,000 views. People were loving this topic. I'm going to continue the topic through the night because a lot of folks had fun with it. We are billionaires. Me and you, we're partners, right? So we have been awarded the 33rd NFL team. Where are we putting this team and why? Because if you go to my timeline, you'll see the original tweet, the crazy amount of cool stuff. So it got so fun that I started doing the research on what people were telling me. So I'm looking up their preferences on where we should build the 33rd team. So I'm going to open up to you guys. If you haven't read some of the tweets, I can reiterate them. But, really quick, guys, we got votes for Maine, New Hampshire, OKC, Charleston, Newark, New Jersey, which was a little bit of just, I think, fun. We got we got San Diego, we got St. Louis, we had Kentucky. Trying to think if I'm missing one. Billionaires can donate to the Mike Fund again. Bill, you are the best. But yes, Bill, we're partnering over here. We're buying microphones for everybody. Where do you guys want to go with this franchise? Oh yeah. We had London. We had Hawaii.
Mexico City.
No, I do not unless I missed it today. Like I said, I was on the road, back and forth to Connecticut, which was 4.5 hours. I might have missed Mexico City.
I love it. Real Cold is just saying exactly what was in my mind. Like, who the hell said Maine?
Yeah, a lot of those were terrible. Like,
Kentucky, there were really horrible answers, guys. Sorry if any of you were in here were saying that, but there was really, really just terrible takes there.
Yeah, and we'll go over them, right? So let's just start off, guys, with you, Alex. I know I'm throwing this at you, but do you have a prep? Where do you want to put it?
I mean, you got to look at what they have in like the spring football where they could draw people. And I think that San Antonio could maybe do that. They already have the Alamo Dome where they could run that. I think St. Louis sells out all of their UFL games. Time
out. Maybe you missed this part. I know you got baby on the brain. You and I are billionaires. We don't need anybody's stadium. You and I,
I think of a logical, easy one that would work, and I think San Antonio or St. Louis.
We don't need easy.
One I'd pick.
Throw easy out. You and I are billionaires.
No, time out. You are John Mara, and you charge PSL, so people will pay for your stadium.
That's fine too.
And if that doesn't work,
as a billionaire, I would pay for my own stadium because I'm not that kind of guy. I'll pay for it.
That's what I'm asking you. Where are you and I putting our 33rd
team? And be like, guys, you'll see some financial benefit. Wink, wink. They see absolutely none, and then they just have trash in the park.
Now, so Bill, the reason why St. Louis was asked for a couple times. The issue that we have with St. Louis is it's the third highest murder rate in the United States. It's very hard to get people to like go to, an industrial area where we build and everybody's getting shot.
Hey, can I say something real quick? I do not think, I mean, look, crime. I mean, there's cities with bad crime that have
Third.
NFL
Nope,
teams.
not third. Not the third. Nope, third.
Well, in America or the world?
Third in the United States. Like you can
Well,
name me all these other.
1 and 2 is Detroit and Baltimore, is it not?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's New Orleans and Baton Rouge.
New Orleans has a team.
Yeah, but New Orleans was there before they were crime ridden. We're bringing a brand new team somewhere. We're gonna have to.
I want an element of danger. I want more crime. I want the most crime.
Craig. Yeah, of course.
I want opposing fans to think they're gonna get stabbed if they go to a
Baltimore
away
has a
game
serious
for
crime
my
issue. And they
team.
have never had a draft bust. I see a correlation.
Great point.
Baltimore is down in the Inner Harbor. St. Louis that's not it, dude. It's not it.
Let me say this. My problem with St. Louis is, I should have just said this, is that I go there a lot for work. I don't think they're that passionate about football there. That is a baseball city through and through. They could figure out and make it work. They did have a team for 20 years, but they're not that caring of football. Now, San Diego's probably the same problem, but it's freaking San Diego. I don't know if you guys out there have ever been to San Diego. San Diego is the most wonderful city on planet Earth.
And by the way,
pretty to go do anything. Like you don't want to go watch football. You want to just go sit at the beach.
Remember this, just to go back to St. Louis just for a second, is there are NFL teams in bad areas, right? But it's already built. It's already there and it's already bad. I'm talking about it's a brand.
Your grandfather in.
Yeah, right? Like I said, because you're building a new stadium when you're looking at economics, you have to sell tickets. It's hard to sell tickets to tell people to go to a place that 1 out of 3 of you are getting shot. Right? Like, yes, Philly's already there or Chicago's already there. If 1 of 3 people are getting shot, it's a hard place. So
right,
St. Louis, St. Louis has been pushed to the top 10 because they're winning on history, right? So San Diego was automatically a top 5, right? Because of how beautiful it is. So San Diego is 100% in the top 5. They had a franchise for 40 freaking years.
I think, Craig, financially, and listen, I don't have any numbers to run. I don't have the Excel sheet. I actually think the best thing to do is Austin, Texas. It's a growing city. It's a big city. Texas loves football. And do this. San Antonio is not that far, right? Alex, how far is San Antonio? Hour and a half from Austin?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what you do.
Cut in. Yeah.
Don't call yourself the Austin whatever. You call yourself the Texas Lone Stars. And you do a lot of marketing in San Antonio. And you make it feel like even though the stadium's up in Austin, they're your team as well. And you know who's going to hate that? Jerry Jones would hate that.
The NFL is not going to let them have the word Texan because they already have a Texans. They're not going to they're not going to allow.
Yeah, I'm a billionaire and I can buy it though. So
but
you're right. I'm going to pay Roger.
In the NFL.
By the way, Alex, did you like my idea? Did you think that as a Texan? Did you like
that would. If I would have done that's what I was saying San Antonio, because San Antonio, everybody in San Antonio seems to be a Cowboys fan. It's like, fuck you, dude. We're gonna cut into that so fast.
Craig, we would wipe we would wipe half the Cowboy fans off the face of the planet.
All right, so hang on. I'm with it. I think the only thing I need to look at, so as I'm plunking down the money for the Austin play or the San Antonio play is, again, we're just talking general, high level. We haven't dug into the weeds. Is that Texas has they're number 1 in the United States for 155 tornadoes a year. So we just need to figure out where those tornadoes are.
We built a stadium that's tornado proof, dude. I'll put walls in front of the stadium. I'm a billionaire. It's fine.
Yeah, Craig. I don't think a tornado's taking down Dallas Stadium anytime soon.
But I'm saying there may be no tornadoes in Dallas. I'm saying that
what's the weather risk in
Houston's a pretty bad weather city. And
you could always have a tsunami there. There's no bad weather, but you can always have a
tsunamis.
El Nino year and an El Nino year.
El Nino
year. Risk that?
Yeah.
There's 100.
Come on.
All I said was you guys are getting carried away. All I said was there's 155 tornadoes a year in Texas. If we're going to go to San Antonio or Austin, we need to figure out where the less opportunity there is for tornadoes. That's all.
San Antonio is a little bit less probable in terms of tornadoes.
See, Sean says Austin doesn't get tornadoes, so Austin would be the pick. So Austin makes it. What else you got? What else do we have? So Hawaii was one that came up. Hawaii is a logistic nightmare. Okay, because for one, the travel is out of control.
Volcanoes.
Volcanoes. Actually, how many volcanoes a year? How many volcanoes?
How many volcanoes?
You know what?
That's gonna
These
wipe
guys-
away
the
all
whole island is a
melt right
volcano.
through
So
it.
it's
just
it's
so everybody
literally
knows,
it's
they're not my partners because they're half in the bag. Okay.
So
They
they're-
could just erupt at any time.
By the
Okay.
way, the lava's always flowing there too. It's not like an incident rate. It is literally always pouring lava out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Which would be a
stick to
great
the
stadium attraction.
let's stick
Right.
to the education. The you'd have to be in Oahu, okay, which is right, biggest city in Hawaii.
I'd put it in Maui. I'm gonna go to Maui. Yeah. I'm a Maui
There's no.
guy.
My point is the land is going to be
Build
hard
a
to
floating
buy.
stadium. Floating stadium. Done.
There, by the way, it is
Thumbs up.
extremely. If you're trying to go to Hawaii,
Land on a
and get
boat.
a stadium approved to build. It is. I mean,
Yes.
good luck with that. They are not
That-
going to allow for that.
Again,
They're very
that-
strict on it.
that's the limited research that I did. It was Oahu would be potential, but the fact that you probably couldn't get the land and the logistics of traveling, Hawaii got tossed, right? And then the third thing about Hawaii is it's all tourists. So there'd be no hometown, there'd be no home team. Like it would just be more anybody who showed
But
up
you
because
make money because look at Vegas. Vegas sell. I mean, you're right. There's not a single Raiders fan in the house, but
No,
they sell the
they've
tickets for $800. They make
This-
a lot of money.
and the city of Vegas actually has issues with that. There's a big complaint. Like there's really no hometown fan. It's everybody else's fans that are there.
But money,
because
Greg, but returns on investment, baby. Come on.
Well, if again, remember on tourists, you got to make sure you can sell out,
you
10
remember when
games.
people said it like, wow, why would you put it like 10 years ago? People were like, you would never put a team in Vegas. There's going to be gambling issues. They're not going to flip a profit. There's no passionate fan. And then look, that like immediate overnight success.
And gambling issues.
And gambling issues. But you can have gambling
But
issues
that's fine.
and a significant return on investment.
I also think, and since we're just kind of spiraling at the end of the show, anyways, I think that they need to look into like what was the NBA guy that just got suspended for life because he was betting unders. If you bet overs, you should be off. That should be fair game. If you go like
Yeah.
Drake, was it Drake London that got suspended? Or no, it was Calvin Ridley got suspended. from
Ridley.
the
Yeah,
Falcons.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like,
'cause
he
yeah,
was
he had
betting
like a-
overs. He was betting
Yeah.
overs on his yardage, man. Like that's a guy who wants to go out and ball. Like if
Not
my
good.
guy's betting on him.
But here's the thing, but Alex,
go
it
do
can happen
that. Like,
anywhere
let him
now.
bet
We got
and go
gambling
go.
apps on our phones.
was
But
it?
it is
Yeah.
way more fun going to the casino. Craig, real quick, you bring up Mark's comment. He's bringing up a city we haven't talked about yet.
Salt Lake City was what I was going to get to. Salt Lake City has some legs. I do want to mention the one that I loved the best was Charleston, because it's far enough away where you're not like if you get into that whole Tennessee, Kentucky area, you're basically just stealing fans from the other three franchises like the Colts and the Titans that are around you. So you really have a tough time building a fan base there because you're really just regurgitating everyone else's fans.
Charleston is not a real city. It's too small.
Yeah, and it's a bachelorette city, which like Nashville got.
And we'll
that now,
turn it
but,
into
like,
a foot.
doesn't-
We'll turn it into a football city.
No, Charleston's too small, dude. Charleston's too small, and like you already had the Panthers, and like people that lived in like I lived in. Like you're either a Falcons fan or a Titans fan if you're in like that region. I feel like.
If you're in Charleston, you're a Panthers fan because the team
you're
took the
Panther-
name of the
you're not switching.
Carolina Panthers, not the Charlotte Panthers, like I would do in Texas. Real quick, Mark, Salt Lake City has a big Mormon population. I don't know if there would be a lot of season ticket sales on Sunday when church takes priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Salt Lake City.
I also
games
have no
on
idea what I'm
Saturday.
talking about. I have literally no idea. I'm sure all these cities would work, and you can sell PSLs, and everything will be just
Dude,
fine.
people would be,
but
yeah.
Um,
What would that
Canada
do for
is
the
a
soaking
financial
community?
nightmare.
No, we don't put a team that's not in America, guys. This is our league.
No,
This is
I
our
already
league.
said-
Canada,
yeah.
no.
yeah. So someone was like, "Why not Toronto?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, I'm not
Mm.
going to put my
You already
NFL
ruined
franchise.
the MLB.
What? Remember? Wait, Alex. Better yet, we go to Canada. We're not even the most popular sport. Hockey's always going to be more important. I'm not going to go pick an NFL franchise to a country that you're the second most favorite sport.
And they already have their own league. They already have their own league, dude. You have your crappy little CFL, dude. You don't get one of our teams.
Exactly.
By the way, in the 90s, all those Canadian sports teams left because they just don't have the economic. I forget what it is, but all the financial returns on most of the Canadian sports teams are not very good.
Doesn't matter. I'm still not going to Canada and having them go, well, we have hockey first and then we have football. I'm like, no, I'm not going somewhere where hockey's going to be more important than us. No. OKC was one that I kind of liked.
Yeah, they can do it. They like football,
Yep.
They got honestly, that's not a bad one.
And then you start looking at Texas is so damn big. You can put Texas and Florida have multi teams in it.
I
Like
want another team in Dallas.
Well, what's the third largest? What's the third largest?
Right across from ATVs.
Alaska was never going to happen. That was out there. But if you take Florida and California and Texas out, what's the fourth largest state in the country?
Wyoming.
I don't know, by the way.
It goes California, Texas. I think it's actually, is it New York, Florida, or Florida, New York? It's one of those two flipped.
All right. Well, I can't put a team in there. So, like, what's
Yeah,
the
we
fifth?
can't. Yeah.
What's the fifth largest state in the country?
It is Pennsylvania now. They just passed Illinois.
So they already have the Eagles and the Steelers. Okay, what's the sixth?
Here's what I got. I got a list of the largest metro areas in the United States. This is how you determine. Go by metro areas, not city size. Metro areas is entailing the people like in Newark, but also like they're right next to New York. So really, you would root for that team. So here's the list.
We're not counting Milan, Alaska, because there's absolutely no industry.
Imagine getting drafted up there. All right, number 1, New York got team. LA have a team. Remember, people said LA wouldn't work. Anyway, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Washington, Philadelphia, Miami, Phoenix, Boston. Here's an interesting one. It sometimes gets lumped in with Los Angeles. Riverside, California is number 12. That's the Inland Empire. They do not have a sports team. They don't have much of an identity.
Another one.
Yeah, can't do it. Keep going.
Can't do it. San Francisco, Detroit, Seattle, Minneapolis, Tampa, San Diego is the biggest one.
All right, well, keep going after San Diego.
All right, sorry. Denver, Baltimore, Orlando. You haven't talked about that.
Wait.
No,
Or,
not Orlando.
no, too close.
Florida,
Can't
you
do
said
it.
can't do Florida. You said no Floridas.
Yeah, can't do it.
Charlotte, St. Louis, San Antonio, Portland. We haven't talked about Portland.
San Antonio.
Austin.
So that's it. No, that actually
Seattle guys.
Yeah, but because they're too close to Seattle, right? Keep
I
going.
mean, that's what a rivalry is.
Austin, Pittsburgh, Sacramento, Las Vegas, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Columbus, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Nashville, San Jose, Virginia Beach. That'd be an interesting one.
Can't. Well, the Redskins actually, whatever. Commanders actually play in Virginia, so that ain't gonna work.
Oklahoma City, Louisville. What about Louisville?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you got to go back to like San Antonio, St. Louis.
I'm telling you, Austin, San Antonio, the Texas freaking Lone Stars, baby. Investors, possibly you.
Are you sure, Peace? Are you sure the stadium's in Maryland and not Virginia?
It
Or
is.
maybe
It is
Landover,
Maryland. It's Landover.
Yeah. I knew they didn't play where they were supposed to play. I remember like that new stadium, like that was like the big rub that they don't even play in DC.
Here we go. Shinny is with me. San Antonio, Austin corridor. That'll piss off Jerry Jones big time.
Yeah, but that's not.
Lone Stars.
Keep going. I'm not buying it.
Well, we're kind of down to the cities where you just kind of pass through over a
Keep going. I want to hear it.
You just throw tornadoes as the excuse we can't go there.
Richmond, Virginia, Memphis, Salt Lake, which, by the way, Memphis almost got the Titans, but they didn't. Birmingham, Fresno, Grand Rapids, Buffalo.
Birmingham? What about Birmingham? Is Birmingham like
Alabama?
Stallions, two-time UFL champion now.
You could theoretically put a team there. We know Alabama likes football.
What about like it's expensive?
They do sell well for the UFL.
Yeah.
Hartford, Connecticut. No, it's cutting into our territory.
I just drove through there today. They are diehard split Giants, Patriots. I don't think that's the spot.
All right. Tucson, Rochester, no Rochester. Tulsa. Tucson, yeah.
How far is Tucson from like where the Cardinals
I did that drive. It's 2 hours flat.
All right.
Honolulu, Omaha, Greenville. It really, and by the way, and now we're finally in New Orleans.
Can we not find, is there not another big city in Colorado?
Colorado doesn't need another team.
No?
Colorado Springs I mean, we're really getting into the weeds here. I mean, we're going to come up on my hometown.
Reno, Nevada. Let's do Reno, Nevada. Let's go with that.
The Reno Railers.
Yep.
Razorbacks.
The Reno Blackjack.
911s.
The Reno. Yeah, wait. That's a casino city, right? The Reno Blackjacks or something, and the Reno Kings or the Reno Hearts.
Cool. Name them after something like gambling. That's cool.
The biggest little city in the United States.
The Reno DraftKings.
Yep.
Yeah. Tucson is a bad spot for an NFL team. All right, I'm with that.
I mean, yeah, Sean, listen, I'm telling you, Austin, yes, Austin is one of the fastest growing cities of the last 10 years. It should be Austin. Texas.
I'm still leaning on.
Craig.
I'm still leaning on San Diego or OKC.
The Austin Joe Rogans.
The Austin Rogans. The Reno Rogans.
Oh, that would work too.
All right.
Mark, thank you very much for the Austin.
Okay,
Mark, you're here. Let's put one down there in I'm drawing a blank.
I still like Charleston. I can build Charleston up.
The Charleston dances.
I can build. Alex, come on, listen, think it.
The Charleston shoes.
Candy.
Come on down and watch the shoes, boy.
Wait, what about Barbados? Put one in the Caribbean.
No.
Palestine.
Alex, I'm telling Alex, we can.
They won't fight if they're watching football.
Alex, we cannot get into politically divisive topics on this. No, we're gonna just.
I'm just saying, give them red zone and they'll stop. That's the problem.
I'm not even gonna comment on that. I can't, man. It's
everybody, we had some fun tonight. Austin, Mark Thompson with the bad words. What's up, Mark?
Mark, I don't think I've ever seen you curse the comments out.
Neither have I. I'm like, what got into Mark Thompson today? Spartan, we got to get Mark Thompson's just off the couch shirt out tomorrow in the mail. So remind me to get that out now that I'm back.
Who the hell is we? You get it out there in the mail, damn it! I don't have the shirt.
See that? Look at that. This is what I get. This is how they talk to me.
I'm the proud owner of the Austin Assholes, man. This is our identity.
I'm still only. I got to tell you though, I would love to do something in Wyoming or Montana. It would make sense, but I just don't think you got enough people, right? Like, I mean,
well,
but
that's the problem. That's why it makes absolutely no sense.
What's that?
Nothing. Never mind.
No, I'm saying, I mean, how much room out there? You could build everything out there, right?
We should build 20 stadiums for one team. And they just play in one every different day.
See what happens? They go right off the rails. Right off the rails. I'm still leaning on OKC or San Diego. You guys can have your Austin and your.
Do you like the Savannah Bananas where they just play at different stadiums?
We'll just have one team that just screws around all day.
It's just a traveling. We can call them the Tourists. That used to be a minor league team, right? I think it was the Asheville Tourists, and they just played away games.
Yeah, I watched those Instagram videos. Those guys are loving life, having a ball. Those banana guys.
They sold out Minute Maid Park not too long ago here. It was wild.
The show they put on is out of
games.
control. Yeah. If you watch the how they made the league and why they made the league because of the boring long games, and it's just great. It's actually great. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Another episode of Giants Rush. We are working on some interviews. Sometimes these guys are usually available, so we're trying to the Austin Craig Handlers. Damn right, get my name in there on a team name. That should be it. Yeah, we might have to combo everybody's name on the team, though. So maybe we can get an acronym with everybody's letters rolled into it.
I like that.
But I'm leaning on the San Diego guys and OKC. But I do like Charleston because I can grow Charleston. I can grow it to a thriving metropolis. We'll be here next Monday. You know us, 8 p.m. We will be talking Giants football. Hopefully, the Giants got something brewing this week for us with some announcements, like maybe Justin Pugh gets re-signed. Maybe we can get some, we can get some more interviews with some of these guys. We're going to try doing that. And at nygiantsrush.com has a ton of new stuff up there. Podcast, Apple Pods, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Spotify, all there. Again, I will ask you one more time because you guys are awesome. I do need some help. Tell your friends. Guys, tell them. You tell them. Tell them what we needed them to do. What do we need to do with the YouTube channel?
Subscribe.
Spartan Mike.
Subscribe, baby. Come on.
Please. Yes. We just need you to subscribe. It helps us out a ton. Just tell your friends. I know all you guys in the chat are there, but if you're listening on Spotify or whatever, we just need you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps us out. Get done things beside Bill's generous donations and Tuto's generous donations. We do need the YouTube channel to prosper. You guys are great as always. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We are way long tonight, so we will see you guys next Monday. We'll have Shawnee back and Chris and Truth will all be back. So we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
And everybody, pre-order your Texas Lone Star jersey right now. Going
Yeah.
to business, baby.
It's such an
Get it.
uncreative name. It makes me,
Lone
you know,
Stars.
if anything, I'm going to go to
I'm already
Omaha.
worried.
I'm going to go to Omaha and name it the Omaha something, and I'm going to get Peyton Manning to invest.
Or like Nomaha.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah,
Peyton
tell your minor
Manning.
league team, Craig. Well, I'm winning championships. and
Yeah.
forcing Gary Jones
You're
to
not-
sell
We're
his
just
franchise.
crushing your
Getting a loss.
team.
Yeah, wait, Alex, what are you talking about? We were partners.
I'm
What
investing with
happened?
Mike. I'm investing with Mike.
He's a
Close
Texas
enough, yeah.
guy. He
Here's
wants a Texas team.
here's two millennial billionaires. You know that's gonna go bad. You know that's going bad.
That's a thing.
Yeah, you
Oh,
know
we
that's
went
going bad
generations,
because
didn't we?
I hate to tell it to you, you guys are going to be on vacation 42 or 52 weeks of the year because you're backpacking and the whole thing is going right down the drain because they have headaches and they don't feel good and their dog needs to be walked. That'll be like the end of that.
We're here, aren't we?
I will have to come in and rescue their team as the adult in the room. We'll see you guys next week.
There you
Peace
go.
out.
Peace.
Millennials.